So I've cleaned most of the rust up, got the old bushes off, taken it to the super high tech painting facility. Just going to give it a quick blast and then we'll get it fitted with the new poly bushes. So the high quality paint booth's done its job. That's good enough for me. Right, so we go out fitting these. First one on. Yeah, that was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Alright, so plenty of lube on these. Now we just slide that on there. Something like that. Well, that was a pain to get in, but it's in now. Well, got all this bolted in. Thought it was going really well. And then this one snapped. So you're gonna have to drill and tap that one. Alright, so we've got to make the bracket for this rear subframe mount. Now look, that's at the edge, top edge of the hole. So it looks like if we make the whole thing about 80mm high, that'll be fine. And then if we make it again 80mm long, it should be fine. So this is all I've got to make the brackets out of that's thick enough steel. So to make that one, because it just needs to be a flat plate, I'm going to cut right round this tube here and then cut that off, and I'm going to hammer it flat, and then that's going to be the rear mount there. Alright, so that gives us this. So now we just got to make this flat. So I'm going to start by trying to lever it up a bit. So I'm just going to start by squidging it up in the vise here a bit, seeing if I can get it a bit flatter. There you go. As you can see, that's already starting to work. So move it around a bit. Keep going. So as you can see, got quite a bit of that curve out. So now I'm just gonna take it over to a block of wood, start hitting it, seeing if I can get it, fairly flat. So all I did was, hit against this big block of wood with quite a large hammer. It's pretty straight, pretty flat, good enough to start. So the mounting hole on the body is about here. So as long as I make it about that length, then we'll have enough. So I just marked a line, about in line with the hole. Plonk that up against there like that. Just made sure I got, enough room. So I'll just cut that down there, and then I'll be able to slide that up, and then I can mark out roughly the shape. So I've cut it out to roughly the right length. If I put that up there like that, you can see it's hitting the edge of the shock mount just there. So what I need to do is obviously take a bit off around here to clear the shock mount. All right, so let's get the hole positioning. what I've done there is to get the hole positioning, I've put the vernier at the top of the bolt hole, mounting hole, onto the subframe. As you can see, around about 45.6. Okay, so that's the first step. Then what we do is we go from the subframe to the top of the hole, which is, let's call that 9mm, because it's quite a big hole. So if we add those two figures together, that'll give us, what, 54.6? That'll give us the distance between the hole that's going to go around here somewhere and the hole that goes up here, but that'll give us obviously the height. So once we've got the height, then we've just got to work out the width. So this is roughly about where I think the holes are going to go. I'm going to drill this one first, and then I should be able to place that up there, bolt it on, and that one there is going to end up roughly on that line somewhere. Now I've drilled the first hole, bolted it up, and looks like that's going to work. So here's the bracket, nothing fancy, but it doesn't have to be. So it's going to go up there like that. So I'll just bolt that on now. I've got the bracket plate bolted on. As you can see, there's a bit of a gap here. So what I'm going to do is put a bit of rubber in between here to give it, you know, a bit of movement anyway, because they were rubber mounted originally. So I'll do that a bit like the front. So I'll cut out these two pieces of rubber. They're going to go up in between there, something like that. Bolt through there, job done. If it ever stops raining, maybe I'll be able to finish this. Alright, so let's cut these cable ties. So I should just be able to hook this up in there. Like that. So I'll just use a little bit of copper slip, just so it doesn't all seize. If I have to put it all, take it all back off again. Pop that there. Yeah, so to get it in, I had to take the spacers out. Drop the shock out the bottom, put the spacers back in, and then tap it back up. Just gonna pop the bolt in now. So spring washer, and then the nut, like so. So to get that up there, that's at max extension, this coilover at the minute. I'm gonna have to jack the arm up. Alright, so we jack that up, got it roughly into place. So I can just get a screwdriver in there, try and line it up. Good enough to get the bolt in. Same again, put a bit of copper slip on there, lube it up. And then give it some love taps, and it goes. Same again, washer, spring washer, nut. So I've just got to tighten the bolts up, but that's in. Alright, so I'm going to pop the wheel back on. Alright, so I've used this other jack underneath the shock mount there to get the weight on the car. and I think that height looks about right. I'm gonna have to do some camber adjustments because it's got quite a lot of camber. It's a bit hard to see in the video, but yeah, it's got a lot of camber and there's still quite a gap. So if I straighten that wheel up, that'll bring it out a little bit. Maybe I'll need a small spacer, but yeah, it's pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is lock off the adjuster rings underneath the car. So what I'll do is I'll just get the weight back off. So to adjust the coilovers, you have these C-spanners. Use one to hold the one ring, the other one obviously to tighten the other ring. They usually come with your coilovers. So I'm going to wind this locking ring up to the other ring, like that. And then struggle to get that in there and tighten that up. So I found that the spanners that came with it were actually too big to fit up there. I managed to find this one that I had left over from fitting some other coilovers that managed to fit it in there. But that's all done up now. So I got the car back down on the ground. Obviously, as you can see, the right side is significantly lower than the left, and that's about the right height that I want it on the rear there. Yeah, it's about the right height, but I'd like it to, you know, be less inset. So I'll get an alignment on it, get the camber right, then maybe have to put some spacers on it. But so I went to do the front, and the front's actually all fitted at the minute. This one, but yeah, the front's all fitted at the minute, and as you can see, there's no gap between the bump stop and the top of the shock, and yeah, you can see there's quite a considerable arch gap there still. So it seems like they've maybe sent me the wrong shocks. So that's going to be fun.